Did you ever want to tell a story and you thought it was going to be an interesting one, and then you kept on going, and it got weirder and weirder and weirder? Well, today we're going to go over Joanna Christine Dennehy. Welcome, angry faithful. Yes, today we're going to go. It's kind of a siren call type one, but let's begin now. Joanna Ginnertree had a troubled life. Born in St. Adams, Hertfordshire. Gosh, it's English, but it's not English. In August 1982, Daltrey left her home at 16 when she ran off with her boyfriend, 21, John Trenter. Trenter. Stephanie Hawkins, help me out with this one.
Trainer.
When she got pregnant in 1999 at 17, she was furious because she didn't want children. As soon as her daughter was born, Daltrey began drinking, using drugs, and cutting herself. She came out of the hospital, and the first thought of her mind was to get stoned, Trenny said, according to The Sun. Despite her behavior, she got pregnant again in 2005. Trenner later left her and took the children away from her and the toxic environment which she had created for all of them. Which, good on you, dude. John, good on you. Bravo. Bravo on that one. Sometimes it's the women. She was cheating on him, self-harming, and appeared to be a threat to his family. His instincts proved to be on spot, but he didn't know how far Daltrey would go. After he left, she moved into a city of Peterborough. Let's make sure that is how you pronounce it. Peterborough. Okay, Peterborough. Where she met Gary Stretch Richards, who smitten with her despite her problems. So, also allegedly fund her addiction through sex work, which could have led her to the hatred of men. It was until February of 2012, when Joanna was 29, that her problems was brought to light. Joanna was arrested for theft and then admitted to a hospital for psychiatric treatment. During this time, she was diagnosed with antisocial disorder and obsessive compulsive disorder. Then, a little over a year after her arrest, Joanna began her 10-day killing spree. Now, let's go over the victims. The first victim was Kevin Lee, was a property developer, landlord, and lover of Daltrey. And another one was, and I'm going to have to Stephanie Hawking this once again.
Lukasz Slaboszewski.
Lukasz Slaboszewski. Anyways, a Polish national met Daltrey through a shared interest in drinking and drugs. And John Chapman was a housemate of Dennehy. Slaboszewski was killed at the same point between 19 and 29th of March in 2013. Both Lee and Chapman were killed on March 29th. Lee's body was found the next day near Newbrough. Joanna had dressed his body in a black sequins dress before dumping his corpse. The bodies of Slaboszewski and Chapman were found April 3rd near Thornbury with stab wounds. After the killing, Daltrey was driven by her boyfriend, Gary Stretch, formerly known as Gary Richard. Why would you change your name? Okay. To Hereford, where she stabbed two men, chosen separately at random, and both men have survived. Both men were dog walkers, and she stole the second man's, you bitch. She stole his dog. The second man's dog. Oh, it's someone's dog. He was a dog walker, so it wasn't even his dog. That bitch. You don't steal a man's dog. It's just one thing you just don't do. You don't steal a man's dog. Or a family member's dog. That's another man traveling in the car unwillingly was later cleared of criminal involvement in the attacks. Joanna born. No, we already got that one. But Joanna stabbed men for the purpose of entertainment, telling Stretch, and I want my fun. I need you to get me my fun. Jeez, she was more or less like want him, Gary, and her want to be like a new style of Bonnie and Clyde, which is uh. But she later told a psychologist that she had found murder to be Moorish, and after the first killing, she got a taste for it. During the court proceedings in November 2013, Daltrey pleaded guilty to all three murders and two further attempted murders. Her sister Maria was unsurprised by the guilty plea and said, I think she did that to control the situation. She likes people to know she's the boss. Joanna was held to remain at HM Prison, Bronzefield. Assessing psychological diagnosis, Joanna was a psychopath. That's the name, psychos and sociopaths. Antisocial disorder and borderline personality disorder. The trial began in the old Bentley in London, where Joanna could be seen laughing during the precinct, saying, I have pleaded guilty, and that's that. When questioned about her decisions at one point during the trial, Joanna stood up and told presiding Mr. Justice Spencer, I don't want to be controlled by anybody. I don't want to be controlled by my lawyers, by the police, by anybody. On February 28th, 2014, Mr. Justice Spencer called Joanna a cruel, calculating, selfish, and manipulative serial killer and sentenced her to life imprisonment with the condition order that she would never be released due to premeditation of these murders. Spencer said further that Joanna was sadomatic. Hold on. Sadomasochism and lacked normal range of human emotion. Joanna was the third woman in the UK to be given a whole life tariff after Marie Hindley and Rosemary West. Two men, Richard 47 and Leslie Linton 36, stood trial charges with the range of crimes related to this assisting Joanna. Both decided not to give evidence in their defense, and the jury began to deliberate on February 4th, 2014. On February 10th, Richards was found guilty of the attempted murder, and Linton was found guilty in preventing the course of justice. On February 12th, Layton and Richard were convicted of all other charges. Richards was sentenced to the Old Bailey alongside Joanna to life imprisonment with a recommendation a minimum term of 19 years. Langton was sentenced to 14 years, and Robert Moore, 55, who admitted to assisting an offender, received 3 years in prison. So there's three other people. After the trial, emerged probation services was supervising Joanna at the time of the murders, as she had been convicted of assaulting and owning a dangerous dog. She stole the dog, anyways, and it was later concluded that the staff dealing with her were inexperienced. I don't get that one. Owning a dangerous dog. Hold on. Let's see here. Let's get into the act. The Act of Parliament in the UK prohibited and restricted certain types of dogs, codifying the criminal offense of allowing a dog of any breed to be dangerous or out of control after a series of 11 dog attacks in 1991 to rid the country of the menace of these fighting dogs. I bet it was a freaking pit bull. They're pit bulls aren't not freaking monster dogs. They're great lovable dogs. I'm getting teary up because of this shit. Let's go to the sections. Sections, various dog legalization. Okay. Yes. And the types, and the act applies to 5 dog types: pit bull terrier, Japanese Tosa. What is it? Doggo Agrero, but it basically looks like a pit bull, but with fluffier ears. Fila Brosi. Hold on. Let us.
Fila Brasileiro.
Fila Brasileiro. That one looks. It looks kind of like a hound dog. I can't. Oh man. And a XL Bully. XL Bully is a smaller of the pit bull breed. Looks like. Man, I hate when they cut the dog's ears off. Anyways, now after there was actually she tried to escape. Fuentes, it says that she was on the remain before the trial. No, that was actually the place that she was. She was at
Whilst.
She was on remaining before the trial. Joanna was housed in a segregation at HM Prison, Bronzeville, Category A prison in Shuri. Prison staff found an escape plot in her diary, which involved killing and seriously injuring a prison officer, cutting off one of the officer's finger and using the amputated finger to fool the biometric systems in the prison. Because of the plot, Joanna was placed in solitary confinement from September 2013 before the court proceedings to September 2015. After the proceedings, she claimed isolation left her tearful and upset and led her to self-harm. Well, stop trying to have an escape plot. The High Court justice rejected Joanna's claims that her human rights has been violated. Well, you tried to escape. You're being stupid. The government lawyers argued isolation was necessary due to the nature of Joanna's offenses and the risk of she could possibly do to the public if she were to escape. Mr. Justice Sling found solitary confinement was an appropriate accordance within the law and all materials at the time it to be necessary and appropriate. After her trial, Joanna was returned to HMP Bronzeville in 2018. She requested permission to marry her cellmate, Haley Palmer, to the dismay of Palmer's family, who feared Joanna might endanger her. In 2018, both Joanna and Palmer tried to kill themselves during a suicide pact. Gee, their family was kind of right. In June 2020, Joanna was reported to be in a relationship with another prisoner, Emma Atkins, a 25-year-old serving a 12-year sentence for her part in the murders of a man whose body was dumped outside of a social club. In May 2021, it was again reported that Joanna and Palmer, the later since released from a 16-year robbery sentence, indeed intended to marry. In 2019, Joanna was moved to Low Newark Prison in Country Durham. Upon her arrival, she allegedly threatened to kill Rosemary West, who was moved from another prison. The government denies claims. But other than that, that is it. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening, and goodbye. Hope you enjoyed this and was